Now, is this Bastiodon going to respect the close combat? It's coming through. What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and we're taking another look at the Sinnoh Cup, and specifically taking a look at Gallade in the back, functioning as a safe swap or as a strong closer. In this meta, it's got access to close combat, which does annihilate Bastiodon, and we're going to see a few of those booms coming up in this video. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to try Gallade is that this meta is a little bit limited. It's a little bit closed off. It can feel very rock, paper, scissorsy, where if you get a bad lead, it's very hard to flip the game back around. There aren't very many safe or strong safe swaps, everything pretty much hard counters something else in the top of this meta, and Gallade is a little bit spicy as a safe swap. It's not hard spice, it's certainly strong, and I will qualify it as maybe anti-meta for this particular cup. But it does do very well, throw some opponents out, and can core break quite a few teams, having access to Leaf Blade, which does massive damage to any Water Boys or one-shot a Gastrodon. Close combat one-shots Bastiodon. The confusion damage is relentless on most things in this meta that aren't resisting it, so it makes a pretty interesting pick. Not only that, but the actual Gallade I'm going to be using is a rank 1 shiny Gallade, but it's a rank 1 for the Ultra League specifically, and I actually caught this on the Go Plus like mid last year and actually didn't realise how good the heavies on it were until I checked it looking to build a Gallade for this cup today. But obviously I'm going to build it up for the Ultra League, but on its way up it might as well stop off at Great League range for help us out in the Sinnoh Cup here for a couple of days. We do love a good shiny flex. Now, we're also going to be pairing up Gallade with Empoleon. Empoleon's a fantastic pick for the Sinnoh Cup, being that steel and water type. It shuts down Bastiodon pretty well. It's got nice coverage with Drill Peck, which will do big damage to Toxicroak that might come in to oppose it, or maybe perhaps a grass type that comes in that's going to be resisting the water damage. There aren't many meta grass types in Sinnoh Cup, but they are around, and it's good to have the coverage there just in case. And we're also going to be running Froslass. Froslass is one of the strongest picks in Sinnoh Cup. In any limited meta that it's allowed in, Froslass is always dominant. If you haven't got one, I recommend you build it. It'll come in useful for other cups, I promise you. Now, don't forget guys, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the button, it's free. We hit Legend Rank pretty much every season, and we're always bringing you guys the teams that help get us there, as well as talking strategy and advanced plays to help you improve your game and get there as well. So, hit the subscribe button if you're liking the video, hit the like button, and let's look at some battles. Now, one of the common leads you're going to be running into a lot of in the Sinnoh Cup is Empoleon. And the decent thing about having your own Empoleon is just it's a mirror match. You're not in a particularly good situation, but you're not in a particularly bad one either. But also, Empoleon does very, very well against Froslass. It's a lot of people's main counter to a Froslass, so if you can get it out of the way, Froslass often has a lot of play in the back. Now, what I found is that a lot of Empoleons, oftentimes you'll find that they switch out midway through this matchup, such as this trainer actually swapping to catch a Hydro Cannon but onto a Drifblim, which doesn't do them a whole lot of favours because they take big damage from that either way. And now we are going to have to throw this Avalanche before they get to a Shadow Ball, or else we're just going to have to burn a shield. Either would be fine, but we'd rather take them out sooner, and then this Empoleon has to throw to take us out, otherwise we will get to a Shadow Ball. But we're going to let it go. We're going to put all our chips on double shielded Gallade in the back for this game, and we're going to go for a very aggressive confusion down. And the main thinking here is that there aren't many things that can shake off Gallade with this much energy, and this trainer's got a Froslass in the back, and this might seem like bad news, but we've got so much energy here, so we're going to be able to go straight for double Leaf Blade here. So one of these is going to get the shield, the second one's going to do big damage, and then we're possibly going to swap into Empoleon here, I think, to farm them down. I'll force this Froslass to throw at us. It's going to be pretty close. Now the Leaf Blade takes them out anyway, so we can just stay in with Gallade and farm down completely and take the win. When that confusion damage and the Leaf Blade damage is neutral, it's crazy how much damage they do and how much work you can put in if you give Gallade a shield to put that effort in. Now, second matchup, we've got another Empoleon lead. These battles are back to back, but well, at least these first 5 matches that we're going to be talking about are actually back to back, and then I'll show you guys some highlights of this team as well from today. But yeah, there's a lot of Empoleon leads floating around. They are very, very strong. They're a very popular lead, and we're running it as well, so we can't exactly complain that they're around. Now this opponent swaps into a Cresselia to drag out our Froslass, and this is fine for us. We can bring in Froslass, we can throw an Avalanche to take them out, and this Empoleon again is going to have to throw energy or we're going to make it to a Shadow Ball. They are opting to go for the complete farm down, so we're happy for that. We can throw the Shadow Ball, get a shield, or absolutely annihilate them. They're going to farm us down all the way, and that's not too bad because Empoleon can comfortably tank at least one move, no matter what it is that Empoleon's going to throw at us. And it's just a Drill Peck, which is not the right move. If you're in an Empoleon mirror match, you want to throw Hydro Cannon. They are both resisted, but Hydro Cannon is much more energy efficient as well as stab. So we're going to throw our own Hydro Cannon, and this is going to possibly take them out or get them very low if they don't shield. They do shield and they swap into a Drifblim of their own, and Drifblim is pretty scary normally. It's a very good counter to Gallade, but their shield's down. The Hydro Cannon comes through, does big damage, and now we're going to be able to Confusion all the way down on this Drifblim. You can see that it does massive damage, and without the health to bulk out these moves, we're just going to have to take them out completely, get to a close combat of our own, and absolutely one-shot this Empoleon. The Empoleon has exploded, the bloodline's gone, it's all over, we're going to take that win. Right, another popular lead is Drifblim, and again, Drifblim's a very good answer to your Gallade in the back, so catching on the lead's very good. Empoleon does pretty well against Drifblim. If you ever played Ultra Premier, when that was around, oftentimes Empoleon was a very popular counter to Drifblim. In Great League, it's not quite as favourable because you can't survive one Shadow Ball very comfortably at all. In the Great League, Empoleon's just not got as much bulk. So, well, the waterfall damage still adds up, and you're still in a very advantageous situation because, like we said, you're getting rid of Gallade's hardest counter. They actually swap into a Lucario, and we're shields down at this point, so it's a little scary because this Lucario could get to a Shadow Ball and could one-shot our Froslass. So we're actually going to bring in Gallade here and make them throw a Shadow Ball at us, and they're going to do it. Absolutely annihilates us, smashes us to 1,000 pieces, and this is a bit of a scary situation, but we're comfortable with this because the Lucario threw exactly when it got to the Shadow Ball, so we knew that Froslass had time to get to an Avalanche because the Lucario was completely energy dry. Now they've got to come in, they've got a Bastiodon in the back, and we're in a, this seems like a lost game, right? We've lost Gallade, Empoleon is kind of getting low, we've lost switch advantage, we got Froslass against Bastiodon, but I believe they underestimated our energy there, didn't think we were quite going to get to this Hydro Cannon already, but we are. Bang, does big damage. We actually CMP tie, which is absolutely going to save our bacon in this game because Bastiodon's energy goes to waste, taking out Empoleon, and now Froslass is going for the world's most aggressive Powder Snow down. They swap out to try and snipe us with one Hex from Drifblim. We're going to throw the Avalanche to take them out. One more Powder Snow and we take the win. Have you ever seen a Froslass Powder Snow down a Bastiodon? I bet you haven't. I bet none of us ever will again. But sometimes you just get that clutch win condition and you got to take advantage of it. Now, a bit of an interesting lead Cresselia here because Cresselia, more often in this cup, you're going to see it used as a safe swap in the back potentially, and its main use really is to drag out something like Froslass or even Bastiodon. So to see it on the lead is a little bit intimidating because we can't be quite sure what they've got in the back, but also we're kind of happy to see it here because it's one of those Pokemon that's bulky enough where Gallade can't really put much pressure on it. It's resisting the confusions, the Leaf Blade won't take it out. So to see it here with Empoleon's fine. We're going to go into the 1-to-1 shield to either get rid of it or get them pretty low. And at this point, we're going to let Empoleon go down, bring in Gallade and go for an aggressive confusion down. They should just maybe not quite make it to a move. They don't, we take them out. That's fantastic. We've got 3 confusions worth of energy, which is a massive lead. And they bring in Bastiodon. Here goes. Now, is this Bastiodon going to respect the close combat? It's coming through. Bastiodon gets absolutely wiped out, does monstrous damage, and I believe the only reason they actually survived is it might be a slightly XL Bastiodon. That was absolutely disgusting damage. I don't think you've ever seen a Bastiodon get hit that hard before. I don't think Focus Blast hits Bastiodon that hard, unless it comes from something pretty attack weighted, and the damage is done for the opponent at this point. We can just start going for Leaf Blades against this Munchlax. We're going to be able to take them out. We've got a shield still to spare. Shield the Body Slam up, get this Leaf Blade off, take them out, and then take this game. Now I see you in the comments writing, but Focus Blast does more damage than close combat. Of course it hits that hard, but obviously more often than not when you see a Focus Blast land on a Bastiodon, it's from a Registeel, which is a much lower attack and non-stab, so it doesn't actually do quite that much damage to Bastiodon. It does a lot, but not quite that. Alright, jumping into the 5th matchup, we're on 4 wins out of the set so far. Can we make it a 5-0 sweep? We've got another Empoleon mirror match going on here, and they sneak through a waterfall when we throw. That's not ideal, but it's also not the end of the world. It doesn't prevent you from getting to your second Hydro Cannon. They still have to throw a second one to take us out. We actually sneak one back through ourselves, so we're back level on energy. We're able to get our Hydro Cannon off first, and this is going to take switch or take shield advantage, and they come in with Drifblim to farm down. We're happy to see this here because it means that we keep it away from Gallade. We're going to bring in Froslass, and we have to commit a shield here because we have to respect the Shadow Ball damage. They do go straight for the Shadow Ball. They want that shield advantage or that big damage. We're going to build up almost as much energy as we can before we throw here, just to be ahead on energy. If they do let it go through, they do shield, and they... Ooh, we're almost able to get an avalanche off, and this is tempting to shield. We're not going to though, and it's just an Icy Wind bait, and that is absolutely a massive call. We're able to farm down completely, and now we've got monstrous energy. We're going to be able to throw double Icy Winds at this Gliscor, and we're not even going to need Gallade for this game. I know it's a video meant to be highlighting Gallade's use, but sometimes it just looks pretty sat on the sidebar and gives you the motivation you need to sweep without it, I guess. So that's going to give us a 5-0 in this set, which is, again, incredible performance in any meta, especially one that's got a kind of, like they say, a rock, paper, scissors feel to it. So Empoleon leads tend to bode well for this team because dealing with them with your own Empoleon tends to free up Froslass to put a lot of work in the back. And it's often a good strategy with this team is if you can get shield advantage and lose switch, it's not that important. If you can farm down with Froslass or Gallade and get an energy advantage with a shield advantage, those two can be incredibly difficult to deal with. Now let's take a look at a couple of interesting matchups. In this game we get a Roselia lead, so we're going to swap straight to Gallade and see how much work it can actually put in as a safe swap. We're met with an Empoleon, which is pretty reasonable because obviously it's resisting the confusion damage, which is a lot of where Gallade's pressure as a safe swap, comes from. But we're able to bait them with a Leaf Blade. We built up to the close combat and through the Leaf Blade, so they had to respect that and shield. We get to the close combat, throw it, take them out, so we get switch advantage and we've got shield advantage, and they show that they've got a Bastiodon in the back that we can bring Empoleon into, and we're in a very dominant position now because we're ahead on energy. If the Roserade swaps back in, we can throw a Drill Peck at it for big damage. We're going to build up some excess energy before we throw this Hydro Cannon at the Bastiodon. Just put a little bit more pressure on them. Maybe they think they can get to another charge move. They're going to give it up, and we've got the Drill Peck already. We're going to let this go because the Bastiodon is so low at this point that it can't really put that much work in on the Froslass. So we're going to throw this Drill Peck, force a shield out of them or do massive damage, and now we bring in Froslass and we're just going to farm down completely. We're not going to shield anything, and Empoleon's the win condition really, and it's just a weather ball. It's super effective, and Froslass is squishy, but it doesn't do enough to take us out. We can farm down completely. We've got a Shadow Ball for the Bastiodon, and we're going to take that win. Okay, now I want to talk about what might sound like quite a niche situation, but this happens a lot, and it's a Drifblim lead that immediately swaps into an Empoleon to mirror yours. And you might feel pressure to swap out and think, well, I want to keep Gallade away from the Drifblim or something like that. But if you swap Gallade into an Empoleon and you've got all your shields, they can commit both shields and they can just waterfall you down, and they can control switch advantage that way. And there's a good chance we don't want them to have switch advantage, so we're going to just go ahead and take this matchup because we had a slight lead. We would have committed a shield if they had thrown a second Hydro Cannon, but fortunately I don't think they had very good PvP IVs, so that they couldn't actually tank one Hydro Cannon and all the waterfalls. So they come back in with Drifblim, and now we've got Froslass on this thing, and just comfortably staying calm, controlling switch advantage with our Empoleon allows us to get this favourable matchup, and then they've got a Bastiodon in the back. So it's a good thing we didn't give up Gallade, and we're going to bring it straight in and go straight for the close combat because we want to throw before they do, and we want to either get that shield out of them or annihilate them. Bang! Absolutely smashed to pieces. The wall is down, and now we can just start throwing some Leaf Blades at this Drifblim And this is a little scary because this Drifblim has so much energy. Because we double debuffed ourselves, so in the close combat, they can farm us down. But we dipped out with energy stored on Froslass, so we can safely shield that. Doesn't matter if it was an Icy Wind bait, because we can throw this straight away and take them out. Whereas if they'd have thrown Shadow Ball, they'd have had to throw another Hex to get to another Shadow Ball. Alright, last matchup I'm going to talk about for today, guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Bastiodon lead, sounds great, right? It is a very good matchup for Empoleon. They swap into a Cresselia and we're just going to bring out Froslass straight away because we've got two Pokemon on this team that handle Bastiodon very well. Froslass is the only one that struggles with it, so we're going to use it here, completely fine, make sure it gets a positive matchup, and then we should be looking good because both Empoleon and Gallade dominate Bastiodon. So with that lead that we should get after that matchup, we should still be able to take the win. Now we're actually going to let these moves go through, and we're not too stressed about switch advantage. We want energy advantage. So we're going to bring in Empoleon, farm down this Cresselia, and now we've got quite a bit of energy ready to go. What are they going to bring in? It's a Froslass. So without Cresselia, this opponent's pretty weak to Empoleon. We're going to throw the Hydro Cannon, get shield advantage, and we're going to stay in here. And they might be thinking, oh, thank God, they're staying in here and keeping away from my Bastiodon. But what they don't realise is that we've got Gallade. So we're going to let the Shadow Ball go through. We don't mind. Gallade's the win condition. It just could do with at least one shield to help it out. They let their Froslass go, and we've got Gallade. They've only got one shield, we've got two. So we can build up to double close combat and definitely get at least one of them through. We're going to throw here before they throw a move. See if we can win with two shields. Are they going to respect the close combat? Bang! They do not. Absolutely wiped out. GG. Not much that opponent could do, but I did want to show you guys one last bang, one more absolutely annihilated Bastiodon, because I know we all love to see it. So let me know what you guys think of the team down below. How's Sinnoh Cup going for you? And hit that subscribe button like you're close combating a Bastiodon in the faceplate, and I will catch you guys next time.